Hello and welcome to Singapore. We are 4 races away from the end of the season. We're here in the humid street circuits in Singapore. We had a bit of a damp practice rather. We are now in qualifying, but there will be no rain expected here. And here we go. We are one lap out. Tarasova goes top. Tarasova, after a series of disappointing races, once again proving how good she is over one lap. Let's see if anyone can beat it. Maglic was under 100th off. Pesinen goes into 4th. There's a couple of other good laps around there. Will anyone manage to get it as the grip on track increases? Ericsson goes up to 3rd. Nishimura's in 4th. Nobody's going to beat it. Nobody's going to beat it. Tarasova's lap stands. Tarasova from Maglic, from Ericsson, from Nishimura, from Pesinen, from Araujo Azevedo, from Lucas, Singh, Markovic, and Schweitzer. Zacarias de Toro, last race's winner, manages only 11th. CasChat racing fans have to be insane. It's basically masochism. How do we have any fans? Oh my god, it's raining. It's raining. It's going to be a wet race. Oh, it's going to be full wets. Oh, look at that. Full wet tyres and then another little bump later where you'd imagine will be intermediate times. This is going to be fantastic. Can't wait. Here we go. It is lights out and away we go. Tarasova and Maglic both get iffy starts. The McLaren cars behind them swallow them up, but Tarasova is getting away already. Look how far ahead she is. Although interesting, look at these tyre choices. I've only just noticed them. Zach Lucas running wide in the meantime. Tarasova, Araujo Azevedo and Nishimura all on intermediates, which will favour them now. But we're going to be hitting some serious rain soon. Brave choices from the leaders here, which is surprising. You would assume they would have gone for the kind of safe choice almost, but they haven't. They've gone for the riskier one. And look, you can see the extra speed the intermediates get you. Look, there's already a huge gap between the front 5 and Maglic, but they're all coming in. They're all coming in. They've realised they've made a mistake, and they're all coming in. Tarasova in, Ericsson in, Maglic sweeps past, Ericsson into 2nd, Tarasova coming back out, probably in 15th. It's honestly a blessing that the pit lane here is so short. But look at how much time she's lost. Pesinen stayed out on intermediates. Why has he done that? Why has he done that? I don't understand what's going on here. This is just terrible mismanagement on the part of various teams. I'd Maglic now leading. Ericsson 2nd. Markovic in 3rd. Suddenly a brilliant result from Kernau Crazy Cars as it holds. Ericsson, Van Ericsson, who has been honestly very impressive this year so far. She's really been proving herself to be up and around the top 3 as the season has worn on. She is holding off Markovic at the moment. I mean, we haven't yet seen a Kernau Crazy Cars 1-2, despite them threatening for it all season. I wonder if today could be the day. We'll see. Hit Singh, meanwhile, in 4th, doing quite well. De Toro up to 5th with a rampaging first couple of laps. Pallison up into 6th, Klein 7th, Luke McKenzie, a noted wet weather specialist, in 8th, Marco Forst in 9th somehow, and Kalua Enene in 10th. Look at all the heavy hitters further down there. Tarasova, meanwhile, is cutting her way through the field. Look at this on her slightly fresher wet tyres. She is up into 12th. And hunting. De Toro's just taken to Singh. De Toro just took Singh. Singh fighting back now, up the inside, manages to take it. Pallison hovering behind them a bit, watching. Look at how much rain there is on track right now. It's a monsoon. There's huge amounts of rain out on track. Aid Maglic, meanwhile, building a lead here, 2.8 seconds ahead of Havana Ericsson. It's all very congested here. You generally don't get many chances of overtaking the first half of the lap. It's the second half of the lap with these powering, long, sweeping corners where you can generally get a bit of extra traction and get on. Also, this final corner here, this hooked right-hander, you can generally manage to outbrake somebody into it. 32 laps remain now as Aid Maglic crosses the start-finish line, putting in, 3 seconds now over Havana Ericsson and gaining. Tarasova seems to be stuck a little bit behind Kalua, and Nene, she tries going narrow there. Look at her throwing the car up the inside as much as she can, but as of yet, struggling a bit for the extra. Look at this, look. She's looking all over the shop for a chance to pass him. And Nene, for now, just holding her off. She's trying it around the outside now. Round the outside. Oh, brilliant move from Tarasova. Fantastic. Through 2 corners. Hung it around the outside and took him. Let's see what's going on behind Nene as well. We've got Gue, Barnes and Giles. Nishimura. Look at how further back they are. A really terrible tyre choice there for McLaren and for Functional Beverage Racing, and indeed for Start and Park Racing. Rafa Azevedo, our championship leader, is currently down in 18th. His only saving grace here is that Tarasova isn't yet in the points either. So it would be Vinko Markovic taking second place in the championship as things stand. The team's championship, of course, if it stands like this. Kernow Crazy Card take an almost insurmountable lead as Rafa Azevedo goes into 17th. And it's just a huge lead if it stays like this. Little mini tyre history, look at that. Paisonen went back onto intermediates? What on earth? He went from intermediates to intermediates and then onto wets. What the hell is this? Meanwhile, Rafa Azevedo trying his luck on Nishimura here, but he's going to let himself get taken by Schweitzer, but he's going to come back on the inside. Takes 1, takes 2. Oh, is he going to hold it? He is going to hold it. Brilliant move from the Brazilian. Fantastic racing. Now he has Giles and Barnes ahead of him. Shouldn't be too much of an effort to try and overtake them. They are absolute shitters after all. Let's stay on board with the current championship leader and see whether we can. Oh, I don't know. Look at that. That was close. He backed up people behind him there. Now he's got to run at him. Now he's got to run at him. Is he going to? Oh, yeah, got him up the inside. He had to back out and then. Get back on it as Giles complains. But Giles up the outside. Giles going for it. Giles, no, he's not going to do it. Surely he's now going to hold up Nishimura and Schweitzer and Lucas Payson. Tarasova has pitted. Tarasova's pitted to go on to intermediates. An early pit. Well, that could really pay dividends. The track is still wet enough to warrant wets, you would assume, but it's rapidly approaching that. Havana Eriksson sets the fastest lap. It's rapidly approaching that area where you would assume intermediates necessary. And look, the observer car's gone to intermediates, as do multiple others. In fact, most of the field are into the pits. Tarasova sweeps back. She's going to get 8th. She's just going to get 8th from Luke McKenzie. A great move from Tarasova, getting on those intermediates early and caning it round. She's now put herself in the points. Marcos Rafa Azevedo, of course, staying out on wets. He must be coming in now. He must be. Surely. He is. There we go. And Magalic as well into the pits. Magalic is going to come out on intermediates ahead of everyone else. Markovic. Oh, it was a long pit stop from him as they double stacked. Eriksson out in second. Singh in third. Tarasova up into 4th. She takes 4 people as they come out of the pits. Tarasova clawing back points, clawing back positions on the track. She's now 2 points off Marcos Araujo Azevedo in the Live Drivers' Championship standings. Look at this. This is high drama. She's got slightly older intermediates, but she has got Singh in front of her, and she sets the fastest lap. She sets the fastest lap as we now hit a damp track. Martin Giles now sets the fastest lap. She'll be looking to take Singh as quickly as possible. Singh, of course, not the best suited to these changeable intermediate conditions, and Tarasova gaining on him. Tarasova is gaining on him. Singh sets the fastest lap though. Singh sets the fastest lap. Credit to him, but Tarasova right back on him. Look at these fastest laps. Martin Giles just pumping him out apparently. Who knew? Will set us into ×4 speed and ride on board with Tarasova. She chases the spray of Singh's car down the back straight and now onto the start finish. We take this 2 square left-handers, then a left-right chicane, then a couple more chicanes, down left over the bridge, left again twice over another bridge, back onto the second half of the track, long, sweeping right-hander, followed by a right-hander. Oh, she's slightly closer this lap than she was last lap. She's slightly closer. Hate Singh doing a creditable job holding her off so far. But he is also burning through his tyres. Look at the kind of difference. Tarasova had a markedly worse tyre than him a couple of laps ago. And now it's almost equal. Well. What an intriguing race this is. We have yet to see the second round of water. I wonder whether anyone's going to chance heading in for a quick blast and some softs. I think it would probably be a bit late if they were trying to do that now, to be honest. Yeah, it looks like everyone's going to stay out in the intermediates, ride it through, and then go straight back into intermediates for the next blast of rain. And then, in fact, the earlier they do it, the earlier they can get on to probably mediums to take them through to the end, you would assume. Forst will probably have to be the first one to come in. Here we go. Forst is coming in. I would assume he'll go onto intermediates as the rain has started again, and he has. There we go, intermediates. I'd Maglic now with a 9-second lead on Ericsson, although that is falling, interestingly enough. Ericsson making up some time here. Tarasova on cooked intermediates coming in, along with basically about a third of the grid there. Tarasova comes through in 10th, a decent position, to be honest. That's very good for Tarasova. She's even out ahead of Markovic, who would have wanted to be out ahead of her so he can hold her up a little bit. Luke McKenzie and Veronique Morel pulling up behind them as well. Klein down in 16th. A quiet race for her. But then again, she usually comes to the fore in races in which Tarasova isn't doing so well. Tarasova, who has taken 4th as people pit. Maglic is going to need to... he's got a huge lead ahead of 3rd. Maglic and Ericsson both with a big lead. Both going on to intermediates. And they're going to come out nicely ahead of Singh in 3rd place. Singh, who is now very much in the clutches of Inna Tarasova. She's been hunting him down for a few laps now. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can watch this happen in detail. She's going to go for the move up the inside. She's not going to have the pace and the traction to take it there. As we sweep behind some buildings. Tarasova. Really threatening moves, but Hate Singh just staying ahead of her. Just. Britta Pallison, meanwhile, in 5th, having a very creditable race as things go. We have now hit pretty much peak water on the track. It'll be interesting to see who's going to be switching off onto dry tyres and when. Let's split this onto ×10 speed. Tarasova still hunting down Hate Singh. Rafa Azevedo up into 10th as Forst pits onto softs. Forst is the first onto softs. Strange, I would have opted for mediums, but maybe he's going to go for a double stop from now till the end of the race. Rafa Azevedo in 10th. Gaining a point, a valuable point as it stands. I'd Maglic into the pits, going on to soft tyres, which are equivalent to mediums. We have super softs and mediums here available today in Singapore. Pallison goes on to mediums, meanwhile. Looks like most of the field is in the pits. There we go, Klein stuck behind a Salty Competition car. Ericsson still out there in intermediates. I don't think that's a great idea. Rafa Azevedo is still staying out in intermediates as well. Zach Lucas likewise. Hate Singh is out in 4th. You've got to be pitting. They are pitting. There's Ericsson pitting. Rafa Azevedo has got to pit. Surely he is. He's in. I wonder how many places he's going to lose. I'd Maglic in 1st now. Ericsson 2nd. Singh 3rd. Tarasova in 4th. Pallison in 5th. Markovic 6th. De Toro. McKenzie. Rafa Azevedo just slots back in 10th. He's just about timed it well enough there. He's out in softs. I wonder if that'll be enough to take him through to the end of the race. You wonder. It probably might be, I think. I've had Ericsson in an interesting position here. She's 12 seconds off. You'd assume I'd Maglic has won this race. But she does have slightly newer softs. If she can keep them in check, then maybe she'll be able to bring it back towards the end of the race. Tarasova, meanwhile, fallen off a little bit from Singh here in dry conditions. Singh doing quite impressively now up the road ahead of her. But she will be wanting more points where she can get them. As it stands, she's 4 points off Marcos Araujo Azevedo, who is up into 9th. 9th, just behind his teammate, actually. Very interesting. Wonder if there's going to be any team orders there from Starton Park Racing, but he's trying to hold off Veronique Morel as it stands, and having a bit of a torrid time doing it. He's just put in some time now, and here we go, he's closing up to the back of Luke McKenzie. Marco Force, meanwhile, sets the fastest lap as the only person on the entire track on Supersofts. Araujo Azevedo has a bit of a mechanical issue there, as do literally all of CasChat Racing. I wonder. It's only last lap now, though. I wonder whether he'll be able to do it. Ayd Maglic starts the final lap. Havana Eriksson in 2nd place. Hate Singh in 3rd. Ina Tarasova in 4th. You would assume this is going to stay as it is. Britta Pallison in 5th. Markovic close by at 6th. De Toro close to him as well in 7th. McKenzie, a wounded Araujo Azevedo. I don't think his teammate's going to give the position up. I wonder if Araujo Azevedo is going to absolutely cane it here if he can. I don't think he's going to take him. I think he's too far back. Ayd Maglic, meanwhile, wins. Havana Eriksson comes 2nd. Tarasova, Singh, Tarasova, Pallison, Markovic, De Toro, and then there's McKenzie and Araujo Azevedo. Araujo Azevedo picking up a valuable couple of points to retain his championship position. Well, a very impressive race from Ayd Maglic. Not the clean sweep from Kernau Crazy Cars as they would have hoped, but nevertheless, a very creditable performance for them that will reinforce their position at the top of the the Constructors' Championship, rather. Assuming, of course, no issues with scrutineering, which we have yet to discover. And there are no issues with scrutineering. Wonderful race from Britta Pallison there, 10 places up. Hate Singh did very well in changeable conditions as well to take 3rd. Ayd Maglic, of course, will be very happy. Tarasova, a good recovery drive after a baffling tyre choice from her team. Bad days for Nishimura and Payson further down the field. Area Drivers' Championship standings. Havana Eriksson takes 6th from Zach Lucas, as the gap is cut to 4 and 20 with Vinko Markovic waiting behind. That just about wraps proceedings up here in Singapore. We are going to see you in a few seconds really, in Australia. See you there. Hello and welcome to qualifying here in Sydney. We are 3 races away from the end of the season. There's everything to play for. This is quite a long lap here around Sydney. Any kind of tyre choices or strategy choices any team makes will be amplified. Tarasova goes first, Lucas in 2nd, Eriksson now in 2nd. Look at that. Great lap there from Eriksson. Hate Singh as well, who's really proving himself to be quite a capable driver in these kind of situations and times. So it all comes down to this now. Their 2nd lap, Tarasova. Nobody improves. Nobody improves. It's going to stay like that. Tarasova stays in 1st. Eriksson goes slightly faster but can't overhaul her. So our top 5 is Tarasova, Eriksson, Singh, Lucas, Nishimura. And then thereafter it's Morel, Markovic, Maglic, Payson and Schweitzer. And Araujo Azevedo outside of the top 10, our championship leader, with a disappointing qualifying session. We'll see how it pans out in the race. No weather of any kind other than sunny expected, which you would expect from Australia. Look at that, beautiful clear skies. It is lights out, and away we go. Tarasova makes a decent start. Eriksson makes a bad one. Singh makes a very, very good start. Look at him go. Speed off the line from Hate Singh was remarkable there. Nishimura in 5th, the first of our racers, using a non-Supersoft compound. 3 compounds available today. Supersofts, softs and mediums. That looks like Eriksson currently holding off Zach Lucas, and Lucas Schweitzer behind him. But Tarasova is already getting away. Araujo Azevedo has lost a couple of spots there early on as they come down the hill on the way to the final straight before the start finish, and he loses a few more positions there. It's very, very bunched up around the middle section here. Tarasova sets the fastest lap. Oh, look at that! Rafa Azevedo goes onto the grass to overtake, that looked like Veronique Morel, and now he's going to try and overtake his teammate as well, Luke McKenzie. Hangs it around the outside, puts him in good position for the inside. Beautiful stuff. And he's going to get Naomi Klein as well, is he? Is he? I don't know. He's got a lot of work to do, and he manages it. Brilliant racing from Rafa Azevedo. He's going to try and go up the inside there. I think that's Lucas Schweitzer, is it? Oh no, it's Giles. It's Giles of all people. He's taken Giles now. Lucas Schweitzer is the next up. This is brilliant recovery driving from Rafa Azevedo, cutting his way through the pack on his soft tyres. It's an interesting, very undulating surface here. You can kind of see if we adjust the camera a bit lower. About 2/3 of the track is relatively flat, but then you hit the later sections when it's quite bumpy. Like there's a bump there, and then another one bringing down the other side. Then as they pass around the harbour, it flattens down a bit again. But then as we work our way slightly away from the water, we're going to go around this hard hairpin as Nishimura overtakes Zach Lucas in front there, and up the hill a bit, up a long hill, and then very sharp downhill. And again, look at that. So very, very, very hilly, very undulating surface here as Araujo Azevedo closes up towards the back of Lucas Schweitzer again. Let's have a look at what's happening with Nishimura, who is now defending his place from Zach Lucas. McLaren, a team who have really kind of come into their own as the season's gone on. Their early results were awful, really, especially disappointing one for Nishimura in Japan, where usually he's so strong. But here they've really, especially Havana Eriksson, who's just ahead of Nishimura, has been really excelling as the season has worn on, and they now find themselves, in 4th place, and a reasonably safe 4th place, as you would assume they won't be catching Kernow Crazy Cars, Braun Cocktail, or Start and Park Racing. Nishimura now having a look at Havana Eriksson. I wonder whether he'll consider it a priority, since he is stuck behind her, but he is on soft tyres, so he should be able to run for longer than her. Ooh, he might be going for it anyway. No, Havana Eriksson defends well. Rafa Azevedo, of course, having cut his way through the pack, also needs to be noted that he is also on soft tyres, so he has a bit of an advantage as well. Even though he is 10 seconds back, he should be able to gain a couple of seconds from just kind of outlasting people on track using those tyres. So a creditable drive from him so far. Ina Tarasova, meanwhile, in her favoured first position, absolutely storming forward after a few really not particularly impressive races now. Towards the second half of the season, or the last third even, she and her team, mostly her team, has just fallen apart a bit. Really disappointing results after doing so well in the kind of first half of the season. The absolute dominance has faded somewhat, and it's come back into the hands of other teams like Start and Park Racing. But we'll have to see how well this continues as we head towards the first pit window. You'd assume Hate Singh is probably going to be the first in. He is. I wonder whether Tarasova will join him or stay out. She has just set a purple second sector and indeed a fastest lap, so there's a reason why she's staying out. Singh's coming in. Eriksson, Nishimura, Lucas all staying out. Markovic coming in. Singh, Schweitzer, Morel. Schweitzer just getting the best of Markovic in the pits there. Maglic came in as well, although he's had to be put on old softs, so you wonder whether Kernow Crazy Cars have already run out of softs for his car. The other end of the race, Tarasova has come into the pits. Eriksson follows her. Nishimura stays out. Lucas comes in. Rafa Azevedo stays out as well in his soft tyres, although they're looking pretty ropey now. I wonder if he's going to lose any time on them. Tarasova goes onto softs. comes out in 11th place, which is pretty good, to be honest. She'll be a little bit stuck behind these medium tired cars, but look, she's already overtaken them. If there's one thing Inna Tarasova's proved, it's that she's just fantastic at cutting through a field from far back, and to be honest, they're mostly coming in anyway. So Tarasova will now have a clear run at Araujo Azevedo. Not Araujo Azevedo, rather. Luke McKenzie out there on the mediums, his teammate, who is looking like he's coming in a little bit early, which is surprising. You'd thought they would have left him out there to hold up Tarasova as much as possible. Araujo Azevedo has gone onto mediums, which is an interesting move, actually. They're keeping him kind of off balance with quite a few other people on the track. Maybe recognizing the circumstances that he's in. He's got a very slim lead at the top of the championship, and if he can continue to restrict others from getting it and keep that lead going himself. Ooh, look at that brilliant move around the outside there by Araujo Azevedo. If he can keep picking up points here and there, that's all he needs to do. He doesn't need to take too many risks. And mediums at this stage are nice. They can put him onto super softs toward the end. Who is that behind him? That is Nishimura, looking extremely racy there on the softs. But Araujo Azevedo just about keeping it ahead. Tarasova in a fantastic position right now, 6.5 seconds ahead of Tsing. But Araujo Azevedo will be the one to watch right now as Lucas overtakes Nishimura behind him, and now Lucas having a go at Araujo Azevedo. This is very good defensive work from the Brazilian here, really keeping it together. Yeah, we're probably coming up to another round of pit stops, and there a couple of people are in, Markovic and Morel. That puts Araujo Azevedo up to 5th. As it stands in the Drivers' Championship, he is about 9 points behind Inna Tarasova. But Tarasova has to pit. And he's 20 seconds back, and there goes Singh into the pit. There goes Schweitzer into the pits. Ericsson, Tarasova staying out. Araujo Azevedo should now... Ide Maglic ran wide and lost himself quite a bit of time there. Ide Maglic down in 19th now. Not a good result for Kernow Crazy Cars so far. As Braun Cocktail are in 1st and 6th after such a good result for them last time out. Araujo Azevedo now in 3rd. Araujo Azevedo now takes 1st, in fact, as Tarasova is in the pits on 2 super softs. That won't last. Araujo Azevedo will have to pit again. It really comes down to when and how much time can he save whilst doing it. There we go. He's pitting now. He's responding because he knows he's going to be losing time. Look, he's already losing chunks to Tarasova here, who's on those fresh super softs. You would assume Araujo Azevedo goes on to super softs as well. He does. He's in super softs. He's in 9th, which actually isn't a bad situation for him to be in. Nishimura in 1st. Also coming into the pits as Tarasova works her way up to the back of his car. Now you would assume that it will be Tarasova from Tsing, from Ericsson, Schweitzer, and then Araujo Azevedo once this round of pit stops comes to fruition, as it has. Tarasova sets the fastest lap. She knows the stakes at the moment. Araujo Azevedo sweeps through into 5th place. He now will want to work on taking Schweitzer. He'll want to... Schweitzer's the most attainable goal. If he can work his way up to Ericsson and take her as well. But really, Araujo Azevedo needs this pass, and he needs it soon. Schweitzer, of course, despite his travails this season, an extremely talented racer. And Araujo Azevedo is being kept at bay for now. Tarasova, you would assume, got this race in the bag with 4 laps remaining and a 15-second advantage. It's all about where everyone else is going to finish. Looks like Araujo Azevedo is falling off a little bit as Schweitzer extends his advantage there. He is. I don't think he's going to do it. There's 2 laps remaining. We would need something pretty dramatic now. But however, a very good result again for Tsing and for Ericsson here. Although, let's see which way round they finish on the podium, because Ericsson is trying her best to keep up with him and maybe put a move on him. But it's no easy feat overtaking Hit Tsing. Inna Tarasova, meanwhile, her tyres are cooked, but she's managed it perfectly well. She's going to come round. Maglic is out of fuel. Maglic is dropping back. Maglic in 12th now, and being caught and overtaken by everyone. Maglic completely out of field. Inna Tarasova, meanwhile, comes round to take the checkered flag. Hate Singh will likely get second, you'd assume. Yeah, he's going to grab second. Araujo Azevedo in 5th behind Schweitzer in 4th. Markovic comes 6th as Maglic continues to fall backwards. Morel, Nishimura, Klein and Lucas round at the top 10. Let's have a look at Ide Maglic limping his way around. Just been overtaken for 16th place. Kernow Crazy Cars absolutely ruining that race for Ide Maglic there. So there we go. Ina Tarasova wins the race in dominant style and, importantly, retakes the lead of the Drivers' Championship for the first time in 3 races. Well, the consistency that Araujo Azevedo has been showing recently hasn't quite yet been enough to conclusively wrestle the title away from Ina Tarasova's, otherworldly peaks when she's... Oh! Ooh, Tarasova! Tarasova's been demoted 6 places! Oh! Oh, what a disaster for Braun Cocktail! Hate Singh wins! Hate Singh wins! Havana Eriksson comes 2nd. Lucas Schweitzer in 3rd. Araujo Azevedo in 4th. Ina Tarasova has been demoted 6 places as Braun Cocktail continue to cheat and continue to be punished for it. Oh my god, that's turned the entire championship on its head. Marco Force, meanwhile, also been demoted, but who cares? What a oh no! I can't believe it! Marcos Araujo Azevedo's average day has suddenly gone to a fantastic one. And Hate Singh taking home Maple Street Motorsports' maiden win. Congratulations to him. What a turn up for the books. Lucas Schweitzer taking Functional Beverage Racing's first podium as well. My God. Look at that. He's now 10 points ahead of Ina Tarasova. Hate Singh moves up to 3rd ahead of Vinko Markovic. What a disaster for Braun Cocktail. This would have been the race to put them ahead. This would have been the one to build the rest of their season around, the remaining races around. And it's all undone. High drama here in Sydney. High drama. Well, I hope you'll join us all again for the last 2 races of the championship. We'll have to see whether Ina Tarasova can recover from this blow. But thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next time.